Hello again everybody, this is Amorgin and you're very welcome back to another Star Trek Fleet Command. So we have a nice little addition into the station here guys, this news channel. We'll see what sort of use we can make of it if Scopely keep putting out notifications. It's a nice way to keep up to date with that if you're not involved in any of the social media platforms. And thankfully we don't have to upgrade it. There were some people a little bit afraid that a feature like this would be introduced and that you might have to pay some Latinum or some other resources to make it available and then to be able to read any of the notifications from Scopely. But thankfully that isn't the case, and it's free and we can get our news in the station, and that's a very, very welcome move. So hopefully the guys can make use of that and communicate with the player base. So let's move on guys to this Latinum thing I put in the title. I want to give a wee shout out to Hugo, Gregor in my Discord channel. Feel free to come along guys and discuss any of this kind of stuff. We're all learning the game still, we're all testing. Guys like Hugo are out there in the community testing things that he's teaching me certain bits. He's giving me ideas around what we can look at and what we can test, if this works, if that works. And without guys like Hugo or Gregor, many of us would be still playing catch up in terms of what works and what doesn't work, and is it working the way it's supposed to and stuff like that. So today we're looking at Latinum, and a big thanks to Hugo for notifying us, I suppose, about certain things for a number of times over the course of a number of videos. So I'm going to take a look at the Botany Bay and Latinum spend first guys, so we'll jump into that. So I'm going to spend a little bit of Latinum and see what it costs me on this Botany Bay. Somebody suggested that I should just spend the Latinum for the 2-star survey part, so I'm going to take a wee look at this. 58 for that one, 30 for that one, 43 Latinum, 80 parts needed there, 100 Latinum for that, and 60 parts needed there, and 81 Latinum. So anything between say 40 and 100 Latinum there for anything between 30 and 80 parts. So it's working out at less than, there we go, we'll spend that. So for 100 Latinum at 80 parts, say just short of 70 parts, you're spending over 1 Latinum per part, 1.2 Latinum per part or thereabouts. So the same applies then roughly to some of this. So Hugo's done a few calculations. I've asked him if he would mind if I would use this in the video. He's quite happily agreed to that. So I've also created a channel on my Discord for him to discuss, and for any of you guys want to come into the Discord, use that channel, chat to Hugo or Gregor directly, and I'm sure he'd be quite happy to engage with you guys and do various bits of testing on the game and the different elements in it, like this, and value for money when you're spending Latinum and different resources and things like that there. Hugo's got an amazing brain, so come in and chat to him guys, talk to the other guys in the Discord, and if you've done any testing, it would be very, very welcome to discuss that with anyone interested. So here we are guys, the chat with Hugo. Like I've said before, and guys like Hugo are the community. These guys and others very, very happily, you can see some of Gregor's calculations there, looking at some of my videos, giving me feedback and discussing a variety of different things. And there's lots of people who do this, guys, but Hugo stands out, Gregor stands out because he's a bit of a brainiac. He gets stuck into this kind of stuff, and it's great to have guys like this out there in the wider community in the game, assisting with testing stuff out. Because remember, the guys on the founder server tested this game at a very, very different stage in its development when things were not as they are currently. So many of us on the founder server had to relearn things, forget old mechanics of the game, adapt to new mechanics of the game, and guys like Gregor here, he's teaching that to some of us, and it's great for us to be able to chat to guys like that, is testing out all wee things out. So you can see here, he asked me a question, for example, about the Centurion and firing 2 times each round. Sent me the clip of the video, talking about Harrison giving the spares 2 additional rounds of combat. So I sent him the screenshots here of what the Centurion actually does. And like I said, I've got a video on the Saladin coming. I'll do a wee video maybe on the Centurion as well. So so one set of guns like that, 2 sets of guns like that. And then, you know, we're responding and all of that there. You can read that in your own time. So as we chat on, a lot of guys here, we've discussed the Latinum and different things, but there's a wee bit of information as well. This is the sort of thing I'm encouraging guys, come on ahead on in and discuss this in the channel that I've created for specifically for this kind of nerdy kind of stuff. So if you're that way inclined, come on ahead and we'll chat about whether this is the way things work and what have you. So feel free to take a wee read through that. We'll skip on here. Let's see. We're chatting there about officers, and there's an officer setup, for example, that he's recommending. So people feel free to look at that, come in and chat to Gregor and about that kind of stuff and different combinations if you feel like doing that. Okay, so there's something meant for Admiral Janssen there. So shout out to Admiral Janssen as well, another content creator, and Hugo obviously liaises with them as well. Okay, so here we are talking about Latinum. There we go. Okay, so we're talking about the battleship parts, interceptor parts, this kind of thing. And as we go down to this, what's being suggested there is not to spend your Latinum on small amounts, as I have kind of done there on that Botany Bay. You can see it cost me roughly 1.2 Latinum per part, and that's only for 2-star parts, guys. Far better sense for me to go and farm that. So you can read through what Hugo's saying there, and I'll just kind of guide through it as well. You can see when it comes to G3, you need to buy more than 100, then you get 2.5 parts for 1 Latinum. Okay, by 105 G3, we'll just take a look at these screenshots. 47 3-star common refined gas at 102 Latinum. 105 3-star refined ore at 42 Latinum. So clearly there, that demonstrates that the more parts you're going to buy 3-star, that the cheaper it gets. As you're seeing there, it gets closer and closer to 1 Latinum for 1 2-star material. Okay. So any of you guys are doing any testing, this kind of stuff, I'd be more than happy to hear what your take on it is in terms of spending Latinum for a variety of different resources. I try to hoard my Latinum, and I recommend people save their Latinum as much as possible. But when it comes to spending that Latinum, then you're not saving it for nothing. That's there for a reason. So here we have an example of the survey parts, and a nice little table of information there from Hugo. So guys, you can test some of that in your own time. Like I say, hoard your Latinum, save it up at every opportunity. But when it comes to the time to spend, take a look at this video. Tell us if this is what way it's working out for you, and we'll discuss further, hopefully, on Discord. Should anybody discover any little quirks or any little anomalies regarding Latinum spending. And if this format of a video works in terms of the discussions from Discord being part of the footage as opposed to it all being game footage, then we can always do a little bit more of this in terms of what's coming up on the Discord channel, and discussing different things and sharing that with other people to to see what way the game is actually working, and maybe we can put forward some suggestions or bug reports to Scopely in a more organized kind of fashion. So guys, that'll do it for me for now. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and until the next video, I'll catch you all around very, very shortly. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and all that carry on if you like it, and I'll chat soon. Cheers.